Hello there.
Hi.
Good start.
Yeah, dude.
Love it. I love
That's
it.
staying in post.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, we watched Alien from fucking what 1979,
It
right?
was Nathaniel's birthday movie
Yeah.
It
because Nathaniel
finished.
had a birthday recently. Congratulations. Happy birthday to you, Nathaniel, by
Happy
the way.
birthday, Nathaniel.
Happy birthday,
Birthday
Nathaniel.
to you, Bryan, which comes up.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was your birthday movie,
Well,
dude.
Yeah,
next week we're gonna do yours,
yeah.
I mean,
or we'll do it
yes.
Birthday movie.
tonight.
Dude,
Wow.
back to back.
Actually,
Okay, we coming back.
it kind of got me in the mood to watch more old school movies. I'll be honest, like old
I,
school horrors I haven't seen. It
I would not
really
mind it.
got me in the mood.
Okay, mine's not a old horse.
Nah, I'm just saying it
No,
got
we're
me in the
gonna
mood.
we can skip your movie and then do
Also,
mine.
I'm
We're
down
not skipping
for
Steven,
Brian's.
Steven, I'm about to suplex you.
Also,
add.
I face cammed for the first time. This is
Um,
this is how
Hello.
I win.
Hello there.
So
These other two have decided not to face cam, and I don't have a face cam. Or I
anyway,
don't have a
It's
Alien.
webcam.
whatever. We got
I might,
So
Alien.
the movie
might,
Alien.
I might,
I hate you.
Nathaniel, what'd you say?
I might face cam a little later,
So
but I do
so
want to say.
It's
oh,
up
Oh,
to you.
sorry.
wait, what were you saying, Steven?
I was gonna change the subject to the movie, but what were you gonna
That's
say?
not. That's Nathaniel's right. It was his movie.
Sure.
Don't take this from him.
Also,
Sure.
I was gonna say I'm okay with a double feature of me and Brian's thing. That'd be dope one
That'll
day.
be hilarious, yeah.
Yeah, Steven, go ahead. Pivot to the movie, dog. What's going on?
Oh, okay. So, Alien was a film that finished production in 1979. It took 20 weeks of post-production editing
Holy shit.
and going. Yeah, it was a big big ordeal at the time, I guess, or whatever.
I mean,
But
I'd say so.
science fiction horror thriller film, Alien,
First one, maybe not, but
starring Sigourney Weaver.
yes,
Um,
the Sigourney Weaver as
it is
Ripley.
it is in 2002. It was at the Library of Congress. Did not know that
It's in the
because of
Library of
its
Congress. That's
It
dope.
is it is
Iconic.
culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. I would argue all three,
Yeah,
but
me too.
it is
I
it
mean,
is
that
in
would
the
make
Library
sense.
of Congress.
It birthed the idea of like sci-fi space horror. What's the saying? In space, no one can hear you scream.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the promotional material. That's what was on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, has one of the best trailers ever made throughout like all history. It has many people say it's one of the best trailers ever made.
We should have
Huh.
watched the trailer.
We should have watched
We
the
should
trailer
start watching
before
the
we
Bonus.
trailer.
freaking. No, we should not start
We're
watching the
doing it
trailer because I like
live.
going into some of these movies
I
or
meant
these movies blind.
afterwards.
S-
Okay.
So anyway, um, I
So
said
what's
so
the?
anyway, but I don't have anything to say.
Well, I mean, let's just
So,
start off
anyways,
easy. How'd everyone feel
Yeah,
about it?
it's a good start.
wow.
Nathaniel,
Good start. Good
This, by the way,
start.
this was all of our first times watching it.
all the way through.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
way through. Steven's seen scenes.
I never saw it
Yeah, me neither.
before
Yeah,
this.
like the only part I saw was the blood going through the hallways when they first cut the face hugger, and that was like so I never saw it. And watching it, like more I think of it, I'm like, man, that was an experience. Like
Yeah.
holy smokes, it was it was a good slow burn,
Yeah.
very slow burn. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was gonna say going in, I didn't really know what to expect because I'm like, oh, everyone fucking loves this movie, so like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I loved it. I get it. That movie was, I loved that movie. That was really good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
loved the whole like aesthetic. At first the aesthetic and the score really reminded me of Star Wars.
Hmm.
At first.
Sigourney Weaver's in the original Ghostbusters.
Yep,
Yeah.
yes.
and the
Yeah.
second one.
She's in the second one too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She got possessed, but it's fine. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I like that movie a lot. I very,
Yeah.
very much enjoyed it. I didn't. I think I went in expecting it to be more actiony, but I'm actually really happy that it wasn't. I really, really liked the way that they did it, where he was like the stealth killer and he didn't kill them like all that often. You know what I mean? It was only like
Yeah,
I liked it a
hmm
lot.
very
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, it added
I've
to
never
like the
seen.
powerlessness of
Yeah.
the protagonists.
Also, real quick as well before Brian says his, bro, they made so we don't even know after watching the movie, we don't even actually know if they're weak to flamethrowers. They never got hit with one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we don't
they
even
yeah.
actually know if they're weak to fire. We
Uh,
just assume so because it's an animal, but it literally never got hit by the
the
flamethrower.
rocket at the end. Oh, spoilers for the movie. You probably shouldn't watch a movie podcast if you don't want spoilers. But anyway, at the end, it did get hit by a rocket, and then it was gone. But
You
like,
could argue that would
we
kill
still-
anything. You know?
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
it also didn't like freaking
Melt
get torn to
at all.
shreds.
Yeah, it didn't melt. It kind of
It,
just like
it was
flew.
in one piece.
Yeah.
So
It
this is
looked like the rocket more pushed it than actually burnt it. Just like
Yeah,
pushed it.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was
Mhm.
saying.
We don't even know if it's dead.
Yeah, it's cool how there's no clear answer on that.
I love that. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Brian.
Right.
How'd you feel?
So I think Aliens is
Alien.
Alien.
This is
My bad, not
Alien.
Aliens. Aliens
good.
is something else.
I wouldn't correct you if there wasn't an Aliens.
Yeah, true. Apparently Aliens is 1986 sequel. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little
Yep.
time.
That's
Yep.
the one that made people probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so funny enough, the first Alien movie I ever saw was Alien Covenant, and I had no clue what was going on. So that should show you how much I know about the series. Alien Covenant's apparently the really bad one.
Yeah.
But so I think Alien does right what horror movies today does not do right, which is it's the same thing when it comes to The Shining. I know we haven't talked about The Shining on the podcast, but we've discussed it before, like amongst ourselves.
Fun
Uh,
fact for everyone watching: after watching The Shining, we talked about it for 2.5 hours, and that's why we made the podcast.
That's why we decided to do this,
Hot
to
piece of
record
trivia.
record ourselves. Yep.
Put it in the
Hot
wiki.
piece.
Put that.
No, I don't think we have a wiki. I don't think we'll get a wiki.
That's
but
our
okay.
IMDb page right there. Put in
There
there.
you go.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, but it's the same thing. It kind of exemplifies same with Jaws, to be honest. It's the same thing where you don't need the jump scares. Yes, this had jump scares. But it didn't have jump scares like new horror movies do.
They weren't frequent.
They were not frequent.
Every
The
scare,
biggest thing,
jump scare.
and I draw a lot of parallels between this and especially Jaws, because the main antagonist is animal. It's an animal. It has instincts, right? And that's something another thing I absolutely loved about this is the main antagonist. It's at the end of the day, we don't know what it is. They don't explain anything. You got to put yourself in the mindset of not watching Alien Covenant because it's terrible. But like, especially back in the day, you see this and you're like, where'd it come from? What is it? There's like a warning. Instead of it being an SOS, it's a warning message. All these things for like these eggs that hatch, and then use like humans as basically incubators. But at the end of the day, it's no like supreme plot or like twisties or betray. I mean, there's kind of a betrayal, but I mean, uh, yeah, freaking what's his name? The freaking android
Ash.
guy?
Ash.
Ash. Yeah, that's kind of a betrayal, but it's
Pretty big one.
it,
Yeah, it's a pretty big betrayal.
yeah, kind of. I mean,
The big
Dallas
plot-
died because of
big
it.
plot.
But holy cow. Okay, so basically, what I'm saying is the fact that they made it an animal and then they made it as like a you build your own suspense. There's the suspense is there, and then you build on it. It's all in your head, as opposed to them having to show it. Like they didn't show when Dallas died. They just showed the alien happened, and then there was nothing else. You don't. They go there and they're like, "Oh, there was no blood. There's no anything. We don't know if Dallas is dead or not." And it's just like he has to be dead, right?
Mm.
So that some of the things I absolutely loved about the movie, and the horror, and I could, surprisingly enough, I could watch this. I didn't really have to like finagle about or anything to
Yeah,
chill.
I never like took my face away. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
like
yeah. I'm
I'm usually
I'm
a
skittish when
bitch.
it comes to
Yeah,
that
I
stuff.
like
Yeah.
when it comes to horror movies, I scare really easily. But I never had to like turn away for this movie. But I still
Hmm.
think it was one of like it's the best horror movie I've ever seen. I
I
haven't watched
really
many,
enjoyed
to
it.
be fair,
Don't show me
but
Hereditary. I don't plan on watching Hereditary.
I like a
I
Shining's
have
a
no.
horror, and I like Shining more. But that does I don't know. It's different
I
types,
the Shining is
different
like a
types.
whole.
Yeah.
There's like a whole something else where this
Shine,
one's like a. Hmm?
Shine, like psychological. This is like a monster s
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why I'm comparing it more to Jaws. I would
yeah.
say.
And I
That actually, yeah, no, Jaws is a great example.
Came out in the same decade.
yeah, Jaws 75,
Oh dang, yeah.
which you both use because many people do call it the Jaws method, which the idea of like you don't show the shark every scene.
Hmm.
You hold off on the shark. So when you first see it, it's like a big moment. And I think they did that really well in this.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Another
And
thing too is even when they show it, it's not like there isn't like one like shot where the entire creature is in the frame. It's always like
Mm.
just the torso or the head or like you can see its feet
You
or
Yeah.
can
like
see
it's in
the
the
upper
background.
body, maybe an arm.
Yeah.
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 that reminds me of this video essay. The guy was talking like it's really smart how they did it because it's like it hides in darkness. And one thing about this ship that I hated is it reminded me of the girl's house from 8th grade where it's barely lit. It's like
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
thing is that's why like throughout the darkness, kind of like Halloween, the killer's everywhere. You don't know where it is. It is stalking these people. It can be in this dark place. Like shoot, even in the end when she's near the wall, and when I looked at it, I was like, that looks like the alien's head. And then the alien's arm came out of nowhere from the shadows. I'm like, that's really cool. You show bits and pieces, kind of showing like it just if there's darkness, it can come from there, and it's
Yeah.
watching you at every moment.
I really liked that it was sleeping, because it shows like animalistic behavior. It's just like an
Yeah,
alpha predator,
Yeah.
as opposed to being like a demon or like some sort of science experiment gone wrong or whatever. Um, again, we're not talking. This is just based on the first movie. If
Yeah.
everybody who's like an alien stand
I've
is gonna be like, "Yo, hey, but this, and this," and it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
This is the only Alien movie I've ever watched. Is the first one. Also, Steven, what'd you think of it?
I like that movie a lot. It's really great. Um, aesthetically, auditorically, plot wise, pretty solid all around.
Hmm.
Yeah, nothing really to say that hasn't already been said. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah. Freaking, it's great.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Mm.
watch it
yeah,
if you haven't. Also, if you haven't, why are you watching this?
yeah. That's true.
Spoilers.
That's very
Spoilers,
true.
man.
Spoilers
Spoilers.
ruined the movie. Yeah.
Maybe they're like
Um,
me and don't want to watch it. I still haven't seen 8th grade, by the way.
Bro, it
Oh,
was actually so good.
that was a really good movie.
I very, very much like that movie. It was
Okay.
a very good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. But I think going back to Alien, I think I would watch this again. Probably not tonight, and probably not on my own,
Bro, I
just
like
because I feel like it
kinda
would
want to
still
watch it
scare me.
again.
Hmm.
Like
I
I
do want to go back. I want to
I'm
watch it
like,
again
bro, I
eventually.
loved that.
Hmm.
I think it would be really good to watch with like a significant other or something,
For
Sure.
sure, for sure.
for sure.
If you do
There's
rewatch it, there's earlier in the scene where the mechanic dies, who you thought was Ash but was not Ash.
oh, Brett.
Yeah, when he dies, um, when he's looking for the cat, up in the rafters of the room, when the camera pans up there, you can barely just make out that the alien's up there. Like you can see it, like a few minutes before it comes down and kills him. But like just watching the scene, you wouldn't see it. But if you had like paused it and looked up there, I've like seen it before, like it like pointed out like with like a big red circle. But it's like actually up there. And I don't know, it was just like dang man. They even like hit it like I don't know, in the actual frame itself. It's
Yeah.
it is there.
I mean, it's jet
Hey,
black,
hey,
dude.
can I add on to
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Do it.
No,
Yeah.
not that,
Sure.
but
No, I was
so
done.
I'm about to really like because this movie is really good. I'm like, holy smokes!
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
one thing I love is the discipline it had. That whole scene was nothing but a slow burn. Because
Mhm.
at every moment there was a possibility for a jump scare. When he looks up in the rain or the water sitting in the face, easily could have like saliva come down in the jump scare. The
Mhm.
chain could have easily, the cat. You had a jump scare with the cat, but that scene was such a slow burn that every corner, and even when they did the POV shots, you could have done a jump scare, but they held themselves back to the right moment.
Dude,
Hmm.
And
every time it did a close up to his face, I thought he was gonna die right there.
Right.
and and the best thing, it wasn't really even a jump scare when it showed the alien. Rather, like I like how they used the chains. But then when the alien's tail came down, similar to like the chain dangling, it wasn't even a jump scare. It was such a subtle thing, and then it dropped behind him, and then the guy even knew like, oh, this thing's behind me. And
Mhm.
I was like,
Hmm.
that's very smart. How they, no jump scare needed. You had all the horror right there. You had me on the edge of my seat, being like, where is this thing? And if
Yeah.
he's gonna survive or not.
It was,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. It's not like a sudden realization of like,
Yeah,
oh my god, it's right behind me. It's in the room. It's the entire scene. You're like, it's in here and it's gonna kill me. And
yeah.
then like the moment you see it, it like overtakes you.
yeah. You just get
Wait,
Very
overwhelmed with
cool.
fear, and you're
and
like, he's
and
dead.
ghost stories, horror movies nowadays are jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. No, this is like, nah, we're gonna make you wait. We're gonna make you sit down and panic. And
Yeah.
then when you're done panicking, we're gonna make you panic more because now that's the tail. And now the guy's gonna die. Like, man, so good.
You know what I really didn't like though about
What?
the movie or
What?
in the movie?
Hmm.
Freaking Lambert.
I hated
The
Lambert.
Other lady.
Lambert,
Dude, I hated her.
absolute piece of trash
I
lady.
hated the captain.
Freaking what's his name? I think it was like Parker or something,
Parker
right?
was the black dude.
Parker. Yeah.
Parker was
Freaking
awesome. I loved Parker.
Yeah, no, he was just like, I'll dive in and freaking try to save her, right? He's just like, this girl's a piece of crap, but I'm gonna try to save her because that's the right thing to do. Dives in, gets killed by the alien. Freaking lady's just freaking still there. Lambert's screaming like a little baby, does nothing and just lets it freaking kill her. And I'm like, you deserved to die more than anybody. Dallas should have survived. Okay, Parker
mean,
should have survived.
People get
Ridley
overcome
survived.
with fear deer in the
That
headlights.
That is-
no, I don't care. That
No,
lady,
they do.
that
It's a
lady
thing.
deserved to die.
I'll be honest, I'm like really holding back a lot of thoughts. So if I'm like going overboard, just be like, Nathaniel, calm
That's
down.
fine.
But
Go ahead.
it's interesting because like I didn't like the captain at all because his attitude was
I
like,
didn't like.
"No,
I didn't
all
like him either. Yeah,
Like,
I didn't like
like-
Dallas.
fine, like I'll do this." And like I can understand why the lady's scared. This is a thing that no one has seen before. This creature, all black, hidden in shadows, like I'm about to wreck you. And I like how, it kind of gave you emotion, like move, because like you cared for Parker.
Yeah.
You cared. You don't want him to go, but it was
Yeah.
He
cool.
freaking sacrificed his life and was like, make
Yeah,
something of his
He annoyed me
sacrifice.
throughout the whole beginning because I'm like, I know he's probably joking, but I'm like, I get it. Yeah, money. I got it. Like
Yeah.
every dialogue
Yeah.
does not
I
about
didn't like
money.
him in the beginning either.
So in the end, when he jumps, I'm like, all right, that's like,
Yeah.
dope, like, good. That's like he's like, I'm gonna die for this. I'm like, nice, dude. Like he's gonna try his best.
Yeah.
Also, the cat felt bad for the cat because she was freaking yanking that kettle.
Bro, yeah,
I'm like,
she was throwing
tossing it around.
Jones everywhere.
My man.
I was
Maybe
like,
he's
you know,
the
he
perfect
wasn't.
organism. Maybe.
Jones is truly the perfect organism. Also, I like how they subtly hint at the alien not liking cats and like not wanting to be near them because it literally left Jones alone. It had the
Yeah.
perfect chance to kill Jones in the box, but it didn't.
Yeah, no, like it looked at him and was just like,
It looked at him
Nah.
and it's like, no, I can't. Like it's like the epitome of those people that hate cats. Like that's the alien.
yeah, don't even want to be near it.
Yeah. They're like, nah, not me, dog. Where is it?
I love the whole. We grew up in the '90s. The Xenomorph has been
Kinda.
around throughout our kind of, yeah. Throughout our childhood, you can say the Xenomorph's been around. You have heard of the Xenomorph, or at
I
least
heard of
my.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Seen
like
it, yeah.
growing up, I have heard what the Xenomorph is. I saw like Alien vs Predator, but just imagine back in like 1979, you go to the theater, you have no idea what it is. Like
If
this thing
Yeah.
is brand new, and
Yeah.
it's so good.
If I could add to the context a little bit, this is literally exactly 10 years after man has landed on the moon. And then we come up with these like insane creatures from like this place that we have just now like become a reality of us visiting.
Yeah.
It I don't know. It's crazy to me.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm gonna segue real quick.
Perfect.
I
to our
wanna talk.
sponsor.
I want to talk to
I
our
want to talk to you about
sponsor.
Squarespace.
Let me tell you about Wix real quick. Nah.
We're not sponsored by Wix.
No,
we
I
have
want.
to say
I
that.
want to. We are not sponsored by anyone.
Nope.
There's,
Somebody sponsor us.
look at our views on YouTube. You'll fucking know we're not sponsored. But
Yeah, we got like 10 views on each video. It's kind of
anyway,
sad. I cry
no, I want to
every
talk about
night.
Ripley a bit.
Hmm.
Cool.
So,
Uh,
as I was watching this movie, I was like, Ripley, to me, is exactly what every female protagonist should be.
amen to that, dude.
She's exactly what every female protagonist should be. Because she's not treated like she's a quote woman. She's treated like a person. Like she's not sexualized like ever by like another
Except at the
character.
end.
I mean
Oh,
at
yeah.
the end, but like I thought about that and I was like actually you could argue that she's like just trying to get comfortable and she's like becoming vulnerable and then like the alien shows up at her most vulnerable moment. So she was like kind of sexualized at the end, but not really, not by like another like I mean like not by other characters in any way. You know what I mean?
Everybody treated her as an equal.
Yeah, and she was just like a badass like through and through, but still like very relatable at like the same time. She's like
Yeah.
what most protagonists because she wasn't like um like whiny. She could do shit by herself. You know what I mean? Because like the thing that I feel a lot of modern day things do wrong when they try and do female protagonists is they make them like whiny, you know? Like I hate characters that whine because I think it's really annoying. Just in general, I hate characters that are super whiny because I'm like, you're the hero. I want to like you, but if you're complaining the whole time, you're just annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That
then
was what I liked
also,
about her.
and then like to talk about like like the reason that I hate the Legend of Korra, right, is that in that she's like confident, which is good, but she's
Confidence is
like
key.
she's not confident, she's cocky.
She weak. They
Yeah,
literally
and
make
so
her lose every
yeah,
fight.
she like loses every fight. She can't do anything by herself. Ripley did everything by herself. She was like
The
I
whole
want she
second
was
half of the
like
movie, she was alone.
and before that, she wanted to be the one to do everything, right? She's like, let me go
Yeah.
out and tell them that this is a warning. And Ash is like, why would you do that? They'll just be here soon. But she's like, they need to know that we should not be exploring this place.
Actually, I thought
And
that
then,
that might have been Dallas who said that, wasn't it? Or was it
No,
no,
it's
Ash?
Ash.
Well,
Ash said don't. Ash said don't go out to them.
Oh, okay. I'm
And then,
mixing up the
and
characters.
and then when they were talking about the alien being in the vent, she immediately volunteered. She's like, I'll fucking take care of this.
Made a
You know what I
plan
mean?
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she like made the plan and then she was like, all right, let me execute this plan. Like she was just a badass, like through and through. She was so cool. You know what I mean? But also, we still saw her emotions. We saw her like
That
freak
was
out. She cried. She got mad. Like we saw everything. Like she was a real person. She wasn't a stereotype. You know what I mean? And I fucking loved that. Like
yeah.
she's what I think every female protagonist should be.
you know
Because
what the funny part
they
is?
should just be people. They shouldn't be a stereotype that happens to be in this hero role. They should be a person. And I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, you know what the funny part is?
Hmm.
Is the fact that this came out in 1979, and for the last 4 freaking decades, they still haven't gotten it right. They
Yeah.
can barely get
We
female protagonists correct,
I
and
mean,
there's a perfect example right at the freaking beginning of cinema.
yeah. Then a few
Like,
years after that, you got Sarah Connor.
yeah.
true,
Like
true.
we
Okay, but what
we were
happened to those
actually
then?
we were
Why do
killing
we
it with
why do we have Korra? Why do we
yeah,
have, like,
we were
all
killing it.
these
We were
kinda
killing it with
lame.
female protagonists back in the 80s, and then something happened.
Yeah, now we get a bunch of B-roll movies that
Like
have, like, a,
we
"Oh, this
do.
is main female character," and then she's actually not, like, I don't know, she just acts like that. It's like, we get Captain Marvel. You know,
I haven't seen it.
you know, um okay, well, I'm not gonna we can watch it a different
I
day.
don't care
Put it on
about
the list. I'm
spoilers.
I'm not gonna put it on the list. Basically, she just acts like a big almost like a husk the entire movie. She's very much, "Oh, I've gotta get back up constantly." It's like it's like pumping the,
Oh, so either they're so what you're saying is
it's
they're
like pumping
either
feminism into a character so much so that they're no longer human, they're just feminism. Whereas Ridley
Ripley
Ripley.
Ripley, thank you, sorry. Ridley's the director.
director.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
it's confusing.
yeah. You guys said, "Oh, just switch the D," and I was like, I was sitting there, I was like, "Wait, is it Ridley or Ripley?" The entire
Yeah,
thing.
her name is Ripley.
Ripley, perfect feminism icon, you know? And then they're just like, "Oh, but we've gotta, like, do these other things." And it's like, "Well,
Mm.
no,
I
it's
mean,
something." Yeah, I
this-
don't know.
no one listened to Ripley in the beginning, but if they did,
Yeah.
none of this would have happened. None of
Yeah,
this would.
none of it.
There was a moment where she's even like, I don't trust him, and the guy's like, I don't trust
Yeah.
anyone, and then like I don't know. People often talk about how women have like much better like emotional intelligence, and in that moment she's like, yeah, I get bad vibes, and he's like, you're a woman, whatever. And,
Yeah.
like it's like okay, well
And then
maybe
also
trust
this
her
is
and you
like
live.
supposed to be quarantined for 24 hours.
Yeah,
He could
Yeah,
die.
she's like maybe I'm just trying to live, dog. I
yeah,
just don't want to die.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
The biggest thing was like when he was just like, or when she was just like, "No, you got to stay in there for 24 hours." Okay. And he's like, "Well, he's going to die." Okay. Well,
then
you
I
broke
mean
protocol and everybody else died,
yeah,
including yourself, you dummy.
yeah, she's like at least we're not she's like if he dies at least we don't, you know?
And
Like and then he ended up dying anyway, dog.
Yeah.
Like
He
and it's
died
she
in the
even
vent.
it's even cooler because Ash is the one that opened the door, and Ash's
Hmm.
whole side mission was, "Who doesn't matter who dies, I got to get this creature."
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
his whole
Yeah.
subplot. Yeah.
Because if it was for Ash, she'd probably lock him in there. Like, no, I
Yeah,
said no.
she
Don't
literally
mess
would
with me.
not. Yeah, she literally just would not have let him in.
You could say Ash was an antagonist. Well, he was.
He
Yeah, he
was.
was.
He was
Yes.
an
He's an
antagonist.
It's not that you could say he was actually just straight up an antagonist.
The
Yeah,
antagonist.
like the whole time.
And practical effects. Oh, woo!
Uh,
Dog, the
Hell
really
yeah.
good practical effects.
Really good. Even
Mhm.
like famous movie trivia, like no one saw the scene coming of the chest burster. So
Yeah.
like horrified all of them. Like that was actual
Uh,
reaction.
So they did know that a scene was coming that they were going to
Yeah.
film where something was going to pop out, but they thought it was going to be like post like production like added all the effects, but it actually like physically like jumped out and then blood came out and like viscera and it got like all over that one lady and she like fell to the ground.
Yeah.
That wasn't planned. That was just her
Yeah.
like I
Real
wasn't
reaction.
expecting any of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Real reaction. They're like, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's always like how you gotta do it. You gotta like actually scare your actors because then you get real reactions that I can
or
actually
break
identify
them in The
with.
Shining.
Yeah. Not Stanley
That's
Kubrick level.
different.
Not
Not
Stanley.
not Stanley Kubrick's level, but like that is good. Don't do it
Uh,
the level that he did. He broke a woman, but that's fine. That might be a little traumatizing, but hey, she just knows not to go to space now. You know what I mean?
the one
Yeah.
from The Exorcist broke her back and got like scoliosis later in her life because she was tied to a bed and like she was like shaking so violently on the bed
Yeah,
that it
that
like
makes
broke
that
her back.
that sounds
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Dude, the best movies got to put in a little sacrifice. You know what I'm saying?
Also, they use real skeletons,
Do they
but
really?
that's
That's
it for the
Polter.
in. No, in sorry for was that Poltergeist?
That's Poltergeist. They use real skeletons.
Oh, same thing, but we don't gotta talk about that because that's not this movie.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it, so.
And I have
Me neither.
another. That's on Netflix. Poltergeist. You any of us got any? Y'all got anything to say?
Go ahead.
No, I was just talking about how fucking awesome Ripley is, dude.
Ripley is her with the flamethrower, man. I'm like,
Pretty
yes.
She's
iconic.
so cool. She
Dude.
is so cool.
That bringing that up, I feel like nowadays horror movies is like, maybe it's just me. Like you don't root for the hero. You know what I mean?
I haven't. Give me an
Like,
example.
like for example, I feel like, especially when it comes to Alien, it felt good rooting for Ripley because say there's a new Halloween movie. I remember
Halloween's another one with a really good female protagonist.
yeah, and the guy Laurie Strode, yeah, great female protagonist. And I remember a guy was talking like, say there's a new Friday the 13th movie. You don't root against Jason. You root for Jason. You want to see him how they're gonna die. And I feel like movies are nowadays like we're gonna figure out how to kill people instead of being like let's build these characters up so when they do face this great evil, whatever it is, you root for them. You
Yeah.
are edge of your seat making sure they don't fall rather than let's figure out how I can scare the audience. Let's figure out how more I can kill the people. Let's actually tell. How about we tell a story
Hmm.
with strong characters and like I said, so you can root for them when they fight whoever they got to go against.
Yeah, because it can feel like modern day horrors are just like gore porn, just for people that like seeing people die.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's your cup of tea. Enjoy it. There's Saws are pretty dope, but I feel like I like the old horror movies. Like they told a story. This told a story.
Yeah, I've never wanted to watch a Saw just because to me they're just gross. They don't look scary. They just look nasty. But that's why I've never seen one.
Another thing that I thought was a lot different from modern horror was the fact that there was very little um outside of the essential that was like actually explained thoroughly in detail. A
Hmm.
lot of stuff was like kind of gleamed over. Like I don't know, we like actually don't like really know what was up with the ship. We just know that there were like aliens on it, and it was like the signal was like a warning.
Yeah.
But like other than that, we like don't actually know a lot about it.
There was
And
a
like
big dude that died from a chest burster.
Leave your
Yeah.
imagination.
yeah,
Yeah, who knows?
and there's all kinds of like little stuff in the movie that like just kind of happens, and then you kind of go with it. Whereas I feel like a modern movie would have to justify everything that it does,
Hmm.
um, which is kind of unnecessary, I guess.
Yeah, like let's have a flashback of Ash in the building with the corporation that wants the alien and figure out why. Well, you don't need it. All you need
Like
to know
Yeah,
is
I don't
the
need that.
corporation that wants the alien.
waste of time. Yeah, yeah. Um, I thought that that was an important theme. Was I don't know, worker versus corporation, or
Mm-hmm.
The greed of
yeah,
corporations is something that
I,
I kind of liked.
sure, sure. This is in the period after World War II where union um participation and the amount of unions in the US is like steadily decreasing. Um, greed is a thing. um, so yeah, it makes sense in the timeline of US history that this would take place, in
Hmm.
79 or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's something else I was gonna say. Oh, I liked it also takes place in the Cold War, and I thought that it was kind of, I don't know, with the Red Scare like being a like after effect of the 60s and whatever. It's like, oh, this guy's like not with us. He's not one of us anymore.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe that
Wait,
was like a thing.
who in that?
Imposter.
Ash was a
Oh,
android, I
Android.
guess, or robot or whatever.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
the like inherent distrust of you know comrades. I like
Of your own people. Yeah, your own
yeah,
of who's a spy or who's the guy next door that's spying on you or something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. He's the imposter. Vote him out the emergency meeting. Vote him out, basically.
yeah.
But yeah.
Um,
Never thought about the Red Scare.
sure,
Although I think the Red Scare was a little earlier than
absolutely,
1979, but yeah.
absolutely.
It was,
I
but it
just
was like kind of an after effect. You know what I mean?
Linger.
the
Like
Cold
it,
War was still
it,
a thing,
it
is what
lingers
I'm saying.
It
sometimes.
lingers.
It does
It
linger.
lingers. Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. Let me just bust him one more time on this thing too. Sound. Best part. Moments there are no sound, and that's the best sound you can have. Because
Yeah.
Yeah,
like the title, the slogan, in space, no one hears you scream. The face hugger jumps on. I forgot the first guy, and then it cuts to the outside where it's nothing, just silence. And
yeah,
I'm like, so good.
I was
yeah,
I was really wondering how they would do that because like in Covenant or whatever, whenever like a facehugger jumped on somebody, they weren't wearing a helmet, right? I see this guy, he's got a full helmet on. I'm like, it's gonna deflect off of him.
They're
Is
strong.
that what's gonna happen? Freaking
Goes
no, caved in his freaking helmet, went
straight
right
through.
for his face. I was like, jeez.
It's fucking. What was I gonna say?
And that
I've
was
lost it.
cool.
But yeah, it was just awesome. Does anyone else have
um,
anything?
yeah. On
Too
the
much.
page they talk about how Alien is an overtly sexual film, which is a pretty interesting idea. Um,
Actually, I do want to
where
talk about that ending.
the no, actually, it's just the entire movie. If you look at the alien and its like mouth as like a sort of phallic object, and it's laying an egg inside the human as like a form of like rape, and then the chest burster as a form of birth, this can be viewed as like a way of trying to show men things that they're afraid of, or like things that they don't like have to experience and don't want to. It's these like very like violent things that some men or like perpetrate on females, but like they would have no way of knowing because, or
Are
not
we
no way, but
referring to the R word that we're not going to put on YouTube because
He
then it's
already
going
said
to
it.
I
tinker?
already said it,
He already
so it's
said
kind
it.
of too late. But
Okay, yeah.
anyway,
Okay.
um, yeah, most men don't really have to worry about phallic rape, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
in this movie, they are. They're like, the guy gets a baby in him, I guess, is what the correlation is or whatever, and then like he has to like give birth to this like creature that like he didn't, that he didn't want, he didn't plan for.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, they one of the directors talked about how sexual this film is, and how much of like a actual rape movie it is, even though it's not one on the surface, it's just like visually one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, it
I didn't
also
get that at all.
no, not at all.
No, you don't pick it up unless you actually like
It's
think
Yeah,
about it.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
um then there's also like, I don't know, the parasitism of it. And one time I had a professor in college and he called babies parasites. And I was like, you're insane. But like it kind of is. Like not, obviously not like
Not tick level or something. Not like bad.
right, but it is something that feeds off the host, and then uses the host to grow and then leaves the host in a more vulnerable state. Um So I don't know. Those parallels are interesting, I guess. It's I wouldn't call it like you were saying, Michael. It's not like at the forefront of the movie, but it's in
Yeah.
the subtext of it. That might even like be why it's like so scary in like a mysterious way, just because like your eyes see these like long prods go into these like people, a lot of whom are men, and it's like, dang man, Freud have something to say. In fact, obviously Freudian
For
psychology has a
okay,
lot to do with that, but
Freudian psychology is. Don't talk to a psychologist about Freudian psychology. That's all I gotta say. But yeah,
Yeah.
I completely understand what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Going back to like more reality though, or like not reality, but less
Straight from the movie
more
itself.
like literal.
straight from the movie itself, literal. Thank you. Less metaphoric is what I was trying to say. The ending when she's like taking off and she's like down to her undergarments. So first off, I don't know about you guys, but I was thinking about that and I was just like, I could see how this could be sexualizing. But then I kind of like thought about it
I
for
did it
myself.
first. Yeah.
I thought about it for myself and I was just like, man, if I were running around with a flamethrower, freaking flaming, like shooting it everywhere, running around, super
Sweaty.
scary, and I think I just got away from the freaking alien.
I'd
Okay,
strip
I don't
down
know about
too.
you guys. First thing comes off my freaking pants.
Yeah.
Frick
Take
you
off the,
guys.
that you got.
I'm stripping down. I'm gonna be chilling in my underwear.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah.
like her.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
not gonna care.
yeah, like you said, like when I first saw that scene, I thought of it as sexualization,
Mhm.
but I kind of don't think it is.
I think because at first you don't know that the alien is still there. I mean, there's always that possibility, but that's
Yeah.
not like at the forefront of your mind. You're like, oh my God, Sigourney Weaver's taking off her clothes. Jeez.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
what you
I
said,
think that was a little bit of the pull towards that moment was to bait in the guys,
Yeah.
sure.
but I don't think it was
I,
designed
I don't think that was the
specifically.
intention
No.
specifically.
no,
Yeah,
I think what you
that's what I
said
mean.
earlier, Michael, was pretty accurate about the vulnerability of Ridley or yeah Ripley. No, Ripley in that moment.
Ripley, P.
Ripley.
In the
It
in that
got you
moment,
too.
um, yeah, I thought that was an interesting idea to show her as like this badass walking around the whole time, and at the end she's like, "All right, I'm a person. I'm gonna like unwind. Oh my God, it's in here with me."
Yeah.
And then she
Mhm.
even comes back from that.
She
Is just
she
a
freaking held
testament
together
to
really
the
freaking
And
well.
character.
and yeah, I was gonna say I liked it because it felt like she was like taking off her soldier, like she's a soldier and she's taking off her like she's a Viking that just got done fighting. She drops her shield and stuff. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
done.
Mhm.
But it also reminded me of an idea like in that scene. I don't know. It's because I remember I was looking at a video and they're talking about nude versus nakedness. And if someone strips all their clothes off, they're nude because they still have this sense of power. But if that power is taken from them, then they become naked. And in that sense, I was thinking of that like idea, and I was like, in that sense, you can say like she has power, like she's stripping off, she's like I won. But as soon as she saw the alien, she became like in a sense naked.
Literally and
Naked.
figuratively. She has
Interesting way
nothing
to
to
say
fight
that
Like
with.
word.
yeah, particularly because
We don't
right
have
there.
to make fun of Nathaniel at this moment. We already know he says the word weird.
Wait, what did you say?
I love you,
Nothing.
dude.
Go
It's
ahead.
Naked
Oh,
versus naked, but do your thing.
oh,
Don't let
sorry.
anyone
Yeah,
change the way you talk. Don't let it happen.
yeah, it was naked versus nude. My bad. And in that
Doesn't matter.
scenario, like nude comes with a sense of power. Like Renaissance artists, if someone has no clothes, they're nude.
Yeah.
But say there's a picture of someone like for example, Batman Damned. He took off all his clothes. He is nude. And I remember it was Comic Pop. Love the YouTube channel Comic Pop. Subscribe to it. It was Batman was nude, but the second Batman's cowl came to life and he huddled and he was in the fetal position, terrified. That's when he became naked because he was in that sense everything was lost to him. And in that sense, for Ripley, the Xenomorph came back and the
and
power
she had to put on her armor again.
exactly the win she thought she had was stripped from her.
Yeah.
And so she had to fight for that win again, which made it even more powerful. And when the alien was still alive, it made her even more vulnerable because not only are they in a big ship, they're in this small ship, and now she has to figure out how to get out of it. And once again, her being like the best character, one of the best ever made, she figured out how to beat the monster from the depths, and I love that.
She put away the cat, and I was like, "Thank goodness the cat's not gonna die."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
me
thought the
too.
cat was just gonna die. I was just like, "They're about to JoJo's this up."
Actually, yeah, me too. I was pretty confident throughout the entire movie the cat was gonna die. I was really happy it didn't.
yeah, yeah.
Which I mean, we don't have to
Yeah.
discuss why I was happier that
So,
a cat
I
can.
survived than people, but
What you telling me?
Mm.
You're not a psychopath?
Oh,
I like cats.
I can rent.
Breaking news: a cat owner indeed likes cats.
Yeah, breaking news: a cat owner likes cats.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Never mind. Oh, yeah, I'm
Okay.
just happy the cat survived.
I don't know.
I was like
One-
actually like depending on the character, I was more concerned with the cat than that character.
You know what had me though? The whole movie
Hmm.
really captured my thoughts at the beginning. The freaking they were like, oh, it's a molecular acid. I was just like, what does that mean? So it's just like, yeah, no, that just had me the whole movie.
Oh,
Basically,
Yeah,
hot stuff.
that just
It's hot.
means that it
Yeah,
destroys
it's-
things at a molecular level, so it can go through like anything.
yeah.
Because like a normal acid has like its limits of what it can go through. Like obviously, like a acid from like orange juice or whatever, like it can't hurt you. It's an acid, but it's not a strong acid. And so stronger acids can go through more things, but then a molecular acid means that it destroys things at a molecular level, meaning it can destroy anything.
Mhm.
That's just what they said molecular, just to let you know that it can destroy fucking anything. And it's only going to stop when it runs out, which it did. Yes, Steven?
yeah. Um. Uh. Obviously, it was
Excuse
pretty
me.
cool. It's pretty interesting and cool to see like a snapshot of what the future as of 1978 or 9 would look like. That's a really cool experience. Because our future has things that we have now, and their future has stuff that they had back then. So it was cool to see all the retro, futuristic technology. That's a great aesthetic.
Yeah.
Um, but technology was also a pretty interesting, I don't know, idea in the movie. They're like reliance on mother to tell them what to do.
Hmm.
Also interesting that it was a matriarch figure, not a patriarch one. But
Hell
I'll
yeah.
get into that.
Oh, are we talking about that? All the
The
xenomorph
AI was
are.
called
No,
Mother.
the,
The AI,
Okay,
yeah.
the
Every
AI
time
on
they
the
go in
ship was called Mother.
that white
okay.
room, mother, they consult mother and they type to it and ask what should happen next.
Yeah, what should I do?
Yeah.
Ah, oh yeah.
Um.
Um,
It was
fun
interesting.
fact though, Xenomorph. You could say this is a really big like female empowerment movie, just
Yeah.
kind of like in the background. And the reason that is because the xenomorphs are also female. They're all female. They're exclusively female, or maybe they're just asexual. They have no set
I think
gender, but they're
they're
assumed.
I think they're
I
asexual, aren't they?
No, they're
uh
comics. There's they're male and female. I think there's a male xenomorph because there's a queen
Yeah,
who's
there's
the
a
there's a
queen.
female.
queen. Yeah.
She like
Praetorians though, but any xenomorph can become a queen. Fun fact. It just takes longer. Um, yeah,
is that
that's
true?
how.
The
Mhm.
egg.
I don't
Eggs.
know. I was reading about it after when we took our break between the film and this podcast.
Well, I know they have a caste system.
Yeah.
They do have a caste system. They go from xenomorph to praetorian to queen, if I remember right.
Well, there's
And any
drones.
praetorian can
They're
become. There
they're
are drones.
I was gonna say they're like their caste system is the same as bees or ants,
Yeah, they're insect basically.
where they have
Xenomorphs.
Mhm.
drones,
Yeah.
warriors, praetorians, which are royal guards, and then queens.
hmm But I think it goes xenomorph, praetorian, then queen, and if a queen dies, a praetorian becomes a queen. Not the drones. So there are male versions. There's the drones. The drones are the males. But they don't necessarily need the males to reproduce. I don't know. Just fun fact: xenomorphs are actually female.
Alright.
Um, or at least that's what I read online. So take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
I mean, that's why. Actually, no, that's spoilers for Aliens. Which, hey, maybe
Which
April for Aliens Day. Well, what? I don't know.
is there an Aliens Day?
Yeah, there's Aliens Day. It's April.
Yeah, I went on our movie list and it said Alien parenthesis S
Yeah.
to say aliens. I just took out the
Didn't have to change it.
parentheses, so now it just says
Oh, there you go.
aliens.
Perfect.
So we
April
can watch Aliens next.
And then we'll stop there.
Yeah,
Probably a
there's
good
no
idea.
reason. It's like Terminator. You can stop at the second one. You're done.
Yeah.
Is Terminator on the list? We should watch those two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Specifically
maybe.
the second one. The second one is so good.
Yeah, that's like saying let's watch the Godfather, the second one. Apparently, we're not allowed to skip first movies
I'm saying
or the
Why
I'm
first.
saying
not?
we can watch both.
Yeah.
Ah,
Because it's funny, I saw someone was talking about like in this movie Alien, the first one, it's much more horror, and the second one's much more action. In Terminator, the first one's much more horror, and the second one's much more action. It's like
Yeah.
they follow those same guidelines.
I
Alien
haven't
versus
seen.
Predator. That's the one where they fight the alien queen with a mech suit, right?
I don't
No,
know.
that's Alien.
That's aliens.
Oh, that's two.
One
Well,
of
that's a
the
Oh,
spoiler.
that's a
yeah.
spoiler. Oh my
Asshole,
bad.
I haven't
Oh
seen
boy.
it.
Everybody's just like, oh,
It's also like
I'm gonna watch Alien. I'm
the
gonna
way you
watch this
worded it's
podcast,
kind
then
of
I'm gonna
wrong.
watch
So
Aliens.
it's not.
Is
Never
it?
mind.
I don't
It
freaking
doesn't
know. I
matter.
was
It
just,
doesn't matter. It's fine.
Let's just say that
it
movie has
doesn't matter what you think.
that movie has one of the best lines, coolest lines of all history, and I love it. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
get to that soon. Michael,
Yeah, we'll see that eventually.
Yes. We
I even talked about comparing it to Star Wars, how Star Wars is so colorful and this movie's so dark, showing like the horror and like, oh, so good.
Only 2 years after.
Because I was gonna say this came out just after.
The atmosphere is
It took
so
20 months. Somebody said that, right?
20 weeks of
20
post production.
weeks.
post production.
the atmosphere
20 weeks. Oh,
is so good.
20 months. Jesus.
Also, by the way, I've been on the wiki for a while because I've been trying to look and see where the name Xenomorph comes from. I think that was just colloquialized
Greek.
by. No, I know where the word comes from, but I mean like the name.
How they created
Like
the name.
the series didn't. From what I can see, the series didn't even give that the name. That name was given by the community. Because they never call it in this movie. They just call it an alien.
They just call it the alien. They
They
don't
just
you
call
call
it
it.
an alien.
It might be in Aliens.
It might be in Aliens
Is
or
it
after
okay? Because
that.
I was gonna say
Probably.
I can't find it.
The term
I can't
xenomorph
find
came
where
from
the term came
strange
from.
shape, I think, is what
Well,
it means.
morph means morph means form. Xeno
So,
means strange.
so strange form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently could take it.
Also, if you think of the words like Xeno nowadays means alien, morph means to change. It has a cycle where it clearly defined life cycle where it's very different in every form. So
When I saw Xeno, I thought of like Xerox, to be honest.
Also,
Which is like a copy machine.
I know later on they came.
Michael has his head in his hand.
Wait, what's wrong? What's
Nothing.
wrong?
I think
they
we're
know what's wrong.
What's wrong with Xerox? Xerox is like a printer, which you could say that it uses being okay. Wait,
People in the
There
70s
was
used Xerox.
one in this movie. There
a
was
Xerox.
one. There was only
Yeah, but you
one
could say it's a
Xenomorph.
clone.
No, it's
Which
just a
I
baby,
love.
dog.
I love that one Xenomorph.
It's just one. Just one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Xeno
Yeah.
means alien. That's why xenophobic is a thing.
Yes, true.
Anyway.
I
Mhm.
can't even begin to comment on the aesthetic design of like the ship. Obviously, the alien from H.R. Giger. That
Mhm.
was incredible.
Face
Is it Giger?
But
thought it was
I
Geiger.
I love the clinicalness of the ship, like especially at the beginning when they wake up and it's these like white, like pristine walls, and then towards the end everything's all messed up and it's all like, I don't know. Then
Mhm.
we get into this like mechanical underbelly of the ship that was pretty cool. And then we go onto like the other ship, and it's like these like dark and like the contrast between the two ships was really cool. How you get on that one and you are immediately aware that it is like out of this world, like something otherly.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
Mhm. Yeah. That was actually something I also felt, I guess, is I was comparing their ship to kind of like the alien ship. And more yeah, just like that, just like how they felt and like different things. One big thing that I felt about their ship is I can understand where you're seeing the clinicalness, but I felt like the ship itself, for being a spaceship, and for how large it was, it felt very claustrophobic to
Sure.
me. I felt like there was
Yeah.
a constant, like it was looming. They were in vents, even though they were like, "Oh, we got to go into the vents." I was like, "Weren't you already there?"
Yeah, the hallways are like tunnels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And just like I thought that was a good contrast for a spaceship being in literally the great unknown open area. It's freaking claustrophobic. And then the alien ship, that
that
one scene
open
where the
room,
guy
yeah.
came down and it was just this massive hull.
Yeah.
No, it's just I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the feeling I got.
Also, kind of going back to, I don't know, the idea of technology in this film. It was interesting to hear the android's thoughts, like after they plugged him in, after they they took his head off, and he was talking about how he admired it because it was so like perfect, which is like it's almost this like weird like comment on science as a whole where it's like, ah, yes, this like perfect organism that we can like we can watch, and it's not like from the human perspective of like we are dominant, we are what should survive. It's like, no, there is like another that we have like studied, and it is
The
like
alpha.
deadly.
Superior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Which
then
can go back.
the robot's like, I respect it almost.
Mhm.
That was really interesting.
Brian,
You
remember
what?
we read the Sentinel and our teacher legit was like how Steve was talking about how humans always kind of have the idea of like, let's research this, let's bust it open, let's check it out.
Yeah,
Felt that, thought that was really
Yeah.
cool. Like the robot's like, it's the perfect killing machine. It's survival.
Yeah.
I
it
thought that,
is. It is.
Mhm.
The Sentinel's really good.
and also to go back on your moment of claustrophobia, does great in the vent scene with the captain going down.
Yeah.
She's like, we lost it. I don't know where it went, and he has a flamethrower. And I just want to ask a question: did that jump scare get anybody?
Yeah.
Which one?
The jump scare when the captain's like, I don't know where he's in the vent, then he turns around, the alien like pops out of nowhere.
Like sticks its
Dude,
hands out.
I thought that scene was so funny because it's like I'm like, bro, he just wants a hug. He
Because
Oh
just
yeah,
if
he
sticks his
fucking
hands out like
suckers on.
this.
Yeah.
I
if
thought
you
it
pause
was
it,
so funny.
it's legit like he's wants a yeah. If you look at it, he's like, I want a hug or saying hi or something.
Um, there was one that actually made me jump. I'm trying to think of which one it was. Cause I jumped at I only jumped at one.
Okay.
I only jumped at one jump scare. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was one where we saw a close up of his face. It wasn't the first time we saw him. I don't think it was the vents.
Oh, the alien's face.
Yeah.
Was it possibly when Ripley looked on the other end of the corner and he was like right there? He came out of nowhere.
No, it wasn't at the end.
Okay.
Cause I saw that coming. I saw his tail.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw because you can see his head and his tail, and I was like, that is definitely not a part of the ship because it was too
Smooth.
round and smooth. Because everything in the ship was like blocky and like jagged, and so
Yeah.
I saw that, and I'm like, that's the alien's head.
Hmm.
So that it, I'm trying to remember what scene
Was,
it was.
okay, was
It might have been. I remember being a close up of his face that got me. It wasn't.
wasn't the hallway one like when she was trying to get the cat and like when she like looked on the edge of the corner like it was in the hallway
No, because
like
I
where.
barely saw him there. It was a clear close up on his face.
Mm.
I just don't remember where. I might remember later. I don't know.
Oh my- Nathaniel, now you got me thinking about freaking the Sentinel slash like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Maybe humanity needs to chill out and stop trying to find everything.
Bro,
Stop
I
touching
think that
stuff.
shit's so dumb. I hate that. He was like,
It's
"Oh,
just
Like,
we
like,
can
oh,
study it," and I'm like, "Shut the no, we don't need to. Why?
I
Why would
was
we do
just
this?
like
Why would we
that
do
thing get
this?"
back. That thing gets back to Earth, and it's just like, oh well, or
yeah,
wherever
Goodbye,
they're
Earth,
from.
dog.
Yeah,
because
exactly. It's
that's
all gone.
reproduce, kill. They're the perfect. Yeah, that's all they are.
Yeah,
They're
and the fact that its freaking blood is made of
Acid.
molecular acid,
Yeah,
which
okay.
I didn't get to talk about earlier. I just thought I was
I
half
talked
the
about
movie.
it
I was thinking
earlier.
about the idea of molecular acid. The fact that it just like went through like it was a couple drops. It was like it was
It was like a
something like that.
little squirt, little squirt.
Little squirt, sure. But the fact that it went through freaking three freaking layers and then just kind of
Mm.
it didn't stop because it ran out, it wasn't acidic enough to go through something.
It's
It
just because it
stopped
all got
because it
absorbed.
freaking exactly
Yeah,
evaporated or whatever.
yeah,
Picked it up on the pin and they were like, "Oh." I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was literally the entire thought I didn't finish earlier.
Mhm. Yeah.
I found the quote of the screenwriter something O'Bannon, Dan O'Bannon, talking about the sexual imagery in Alien, if I could go back to it for a brief moment,
You may.
he said that it was overt and intentional, and he went on to say that one thing that people are disturbed about is sex. I said that's how I'm going to attack the audience. I'm going to attack them sexually, and I'm not going to go after the women in the audience. I'm going to attack the men. I'm going to put every image I can think of to make the men in this audience cross their legs. Homosexual oral rape, birth, the thing lays eggs down your throat, the whole number. So that's what I was trying to articulate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Also,
Dang, if that was his intention, I missed that whole thing, dog.
it's
I like
I
overt,
mean, when
but
it
like I
freaking
didn't
wrapped
get
its
that.
tail around his neck, I was just like, "Oh, dog, I would not want to be that guy." But I
To
was
there's a
also
me,
lot.
yeah,
like,
to me that was like, oh, we're just not gonna get that off. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I was like, just shoot the guy, end his suffering.
There's a lot going on for that to be like. I think it's a bit understated
You,
as
you
well.
need rewatches. Probably.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh no, I definitely think a rewatch is in order.
but also, in tandem with what he said, we don't actually really see any women get killed in the movie, do we? Like she dies, but she's like kind of off screen. Like
Yeah, we
everybody
just
She
see
who,
was
like her.
hanging
We
there.
see her
You
feet
right?
see her
dangling.
freaking, yeah.
Yeah, but everyone who we see lose their life is like a man, and then the woman escapes,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
which I guess goes kind of along with that, where women in horror are so like, you know, like the dame just kind of
yeah. Horror
bites it,
usually does not treat women well.
especially back then too. And
Yeah,
then they're just like, no, we are going to make men as afraid as women are now. Was an interesting idea.
Fuck.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scare
Halloween
me, dog.
slashers are like you could say ahead of their time, dog.
Yeah.
sure, sure.
So ahead
So
of their time that time didn't freaking catch up, and then
we
we
got
still
Laurie
got crap.
from Halloween. We got Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. We got I forgot her name for Friday the 13th. Yeah, oh shit, that's really cool.
I mean, we got 11.
Got 11.
But I mean,
I haven't seen the
I
show, so
Stranger Things
I
is
know.
technically a horror.
It is.
Is it? Oh, I guess. I mean, again, I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cross section of a horror and a coming of age story.
Really good, really good. Would watch that.
Yeah,
Um, Again, also haven't finished season 3, so
it's good.
Well, that's I like how I like that. That's really cool that the writers did that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty, especially for back then. I thought that was a pretty
Yeah.
creative decision.
Yeah.
The one that I guess panned out, but one that's not panned out, or one that like isn't as overt as I suppose he had hoped.
maybe
Like
I think
obviously,
it's because we're not toxic males.
uh, I suppose.
Have
I
you
don't know.
not
I think
talked
just
to Nathaniel? I'm joking.
I love everybody, but I have
Oh no, I just
a
think
black question. I
I,
got it.
I I do also think that we're a generation or two, honestly, 2 generations behind. Because this was for generation, I think X, right? Which was a lot more. That's like our parents, and that's you could say that there was a lot more of like the idea of masculinity. Every man was kind of like a, oh,
sure,
I've got to be a man kind of
sure,
thing back then, you know. Or you could say
sure.
there's a stronger idea and drive to be that quote unquote masculine, whereas in our generation, it's not as like driven towards. So maybe we didn't
100%.
catch it because
Yeah,
of
dude,
our
I
generational
wouldn't
That's
differences.
I wouldn't
that's a
walk
good
the
point.
streets at night, dog. I don't think
Me
anyone
neither.
should. That's not
Me.
um,
safe.
I,
Yeah.
I'm always
I
afraid
would
of getting murdered, dude.
no, honestly,
Dude, I'm with you on that one.
Xenomorph
honestly.
not getting me, dude.
I would even say that honestly, even back then, just the fact that we have this space movie, and space was not something that people were that accustomed to. Like I said, only like a decade old. We've like kind of
Oh yeah, that too.
that's we like achieved that. So it's like we're already out of our comfort zone, and there's like extraterrestrial life. I feel like all these like elements like coming together. I feel like even back then, people were just they were so absorbed by all this other like um I don't know
All the other
extra
stuff in the
worldliness,
movie. Yeah.
yeah, stuff that like was already outside of their daily life, that this added layer of I don't know, gendered gender targeted horror was kind of, I don't want to say lost, but kind of like hidden, or like yeah, like hidden, I guess, like in
Yeah,
between these like other like factors kind of overshadowing it,
yeah.
is
Yeah.
what I
Even
would
though
say.
it
But
was like meant to be like overt, like I didn't get it at all.
yeah, The
Yeah,
overt thing was to stay out
whoops.
of space for me. That was what I got.
Yeah.
You
Dog,
know,
I ain't going to Mars.
Yeah.
come on.
I always heard always heard monster movies are really good, especially when the monsters represent something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this movie's no exception. Yeah,
When a monster represents something, it's really good.
Yeah.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
I got like a fear of the unknown of like space from it. I didn't
Yeah.
get
100%.
yeah. But I can totally see how it would be more so like a rapist.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
I think it might even be designed that way, where on the surface you make that distinction that you just made of like the like otherworldliness, like the other is just like frightening, so we just don't accept it,
Mhm.
and then we peel that apart, and then underneath we look at the gendered. I
Yeah,
don't remember
yeah.
what.
Yeah, you get down to the bones, the meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then we see things like that.
I think it was the
Yeah,
jump scare in the vent that got me actually. I'm looking at the
I
scenes now.
I
I think
heard
it
you.
was the vent.
I heard somebody make a noise, and I thought it was you.
It was probably
Same.
me then.
I kind of jumped back a little bit, and then I
Cuz
heard that. I was like,
I
that's the one
definitely,
that
I
made
was
me
just like,
jump. The
oh.
others didn't, but that one did.
yeah, it
I
was a
knew,
little.
I knew that was coming though. I knew as soon as he
Yeah,
I
looked
knew
up,
it was
I
coming,
was
but
like,
it still like
he's gonna
got
be
me.
behind him.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like how you
And then,
see him before it happens too.
yeah,
It's
and then
not
he puts
it's
his
like
arms up like, give
yeah,
me a
it's
hug.
not like out of nowhere, but
Mhm.
yeah, actually here if I can pull it up.
I think,
Excuse me.
I think what got me was when he was in the storage room,
Hmm.
because I knew he was coming from behind with the cat, and I was just like, "Oh, cat's dead." I thought the cat like disappeared, and then he was gonna find the cat's dead body and be like, "It's in here," and then he was gonna die. But no, cat freaking split.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
cat was like,
So
"Fuck you, alien."
that cat's seen some stuff. I'm just saying.
Dude, that cat. Ooh,
PTSD, dude. Just
oh
as much
yeah.
as Ripley, if not more.
It's not more, dude. It watched all these people die.
Uh,
So, hang on.
anyway,
I'm gonna call some things out. If that's okay.
oh, perfect. Go ahead.
Hit me with
I am a black man.
it. Okay.
And that being said, remember when the guy died looking for, like Bryan said, looking for the cat, and he died?
Yeah.
And
Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Brett died, and the scene immediately cuts to Parker being like, oh gosh. In my head, I'm like, dude, I know the struggle, because in that situation, I'd probably be like, it's 1979. I wasn't the first one to go. I'm on borrowed time. Yeah, I got it.
I'm on borrowed
So,
time.
so I want to tell you this: if you rewatch the movie from me, I love from me.
Go ahead.
Every time you see Parker and when the alien has already appeared killing people, think about him being like, I'm on borrowed time. That's why he's so like, I gotta kill this thing, because if I die, I'm gonna die next.
It's
Oh
like it
my
was written in
fucking.
the script. I don't know. I didn't die first.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Let me.
Honestly, I feel like we could watch this movie again and then have another like hour talk about it, just like
Facts.
realizing things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like pointing out all these new things. I actually really want to go back and see where that
I mean, if
xenomorph
you guys
is
want to
in
go
that
back
one
and watch the
scene.
lighthouse too.
I would love that.
Same.
Others would not love that.
I'd be down for
That's
that.
fine.
I don't know if I could do it. I couldn't stand. I wouldn't be able to stand the ending or the. That's a different episode. You should go check out
It
that
was
episode.
Jose who hated it, right?
That was our first ever episode, right?
Yeah, it was our
I
first
think so.
episode.
Yeah.
It was our very first
Actually,
episode.
don't watch that because
No, you should
I
watch that. That's our
No,
first
watch
episode,
the
dog.
episode. What do you mean?
I made a cameo.
no, watch every other episode, just not that
No,
one.
watch that
Why
one
not that one?
included.
Watch
Don't
the
like
first
that
Because
one.
Brian's self-conscious.
Watch
About
the first.
what?
Him. I don't know, man.
That
You can ask him
episode
about that.
especially. I don't know. There's no problem. I just didn't. I don't know. Anyways, going back to the movie. What was that, Nathaniel?
This is
I
the
was gonna say
scene,
to all y'all out
people.
there listening, you should watch the first one because I make a cameo in it. Just saying, I wasn't in the full
Oh
one,
yeah,
but
you weren't even in it.
Oh,
I made like a cameo
true.
that sup. I love the
Oh,
film. Like,
that's true. I forgot about that.
That's why you shouldn't go watch the first one because Nathaniel's not even
I mean,
in it.
Jose's not in this
Yeah,
one. Should
he's-
they not watch this one?
I wasn't in
yeah,
eighth
probably
grade.
not.
They shouldn't watch eighth grade.
No,
Yeah.
8th grade was a great episode. You should 100% watch that one.
Every
Subscribe
ep-
and
It was
watch
a
I'm,
all
very
of
good
you.
episode.
I'm,
Has
I'm
been very
actually what
good.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch the movie and then I'm gonna watch that episode.
And then
Uh,
record audio alongside it, so we have like a double feature podcast thing where it's like
I'll like, yeah,
all of
I'll
our
like,
podcasts
Yeah,
in
I'll
order.
pause. I'll
I'll
hit pause.
re-upload it.
What I'll do is I'll hit pause on the video and then explain my point and then resume the video. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, it'll be called 8th grade 2, the Bryaning.
Nice.
That's what I'll call that video.
Wow.
I don't know
So
about that one,
any
Chief.
final thoughts on Alien?
Great
I-
movie overall.
Great.
Absolutely
I
loved
loved
it.
it. I
Really
loved
ahead
it.
of its time
Sure.
for like just like the meanings and the metaphors it had in it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Give me more female protagonists like that,
Dude, honestly,
please.
that's what I
Please.
mean.
I love Ripley so much.
I love her. She's so
Love her.
cool.
Iconic.
She's so cool, dude.
He really is, dude.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think we're all good. Does anyone else have anything? Is that it?
Schedule for movies. So
We've
right. So
fallen
we're not
apart.
watching Zodiac this week.
We have
I don't
fallen.
remember.
We didn't even
Oh
mention that
yeah.
before. Dude, last
Oh, that's
time they
true.
heard, we're watching fucking Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh
Oh
my
yeah, we're
god.
Didn't
never
do.
watching that
We're
movie.
not gonna
No,
watch
we're
that.
not. We
We
decided
decide.
to scrap that one. We decided after like
We
a
decide.
month and a half of putting that off, we were like, maybe it's time
There's
to
a
move
reason.
on.
Yeah.
There's a
After.
reason we
Yeah.
put it off.
Yeah.
And then we had Zodiac.
Which I
Uh,
still want to watch,
we
but
will.
not.
We'll
Yeah.
resume
So
Zodiac
That'll be
after not
after
next
October is
week.
over.
Here's how
Yeah,
it's looking.
so
Is this week is Alien. Next week is a movie that Brian will choose. The
so
week after will be another horror movie.
Just to like
Um,
fill out, like, even if October's over, then we still want to like fill
no,
that
it's
out as
yeah.
like October content. I don't think it will be. I don't know what our weeks are stacking
Uh,
up to be.
No, that would be perfect
That'll
if we
be like
if we're on
on.
track.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
be
that'd be
on track to like
that'll be
be
on Halloween or like
Halloween.
right
and then
after
Yeah,
Halloween.
we'll
the
have to watch
first
it before Halloween because we're hanging out on Halloween.
that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
true.
The and then the week after or the first week of November, that one should be
that will
Zodiac,
be
and
Zodiac.
then we'll go back to the randomized from the list.
Yeah, then we'll
Good
go back
stuff.
to our randomized movie picking.
Announcing it during
We're-
the podcast.
Yeah,
and
we're
stuff.
gonna try and be
Also,
more. We're
probably
gonna
gonna
try and be
start.
more consistent with this.
Also, I think
Yes.
we're gonna start doing this on Mondays, aren't we?
I
Maybe.
think
We'll see.
Mondays.
Something
I
like
think
that.
Work for
we
me.
should because Mondays are working for most of us. I know Jose couldn't this Monday,
Monday, he's working
but
on
I
an
think
essay though.
yeah, it's because he's
He's got
working on
Working at
he's
midterm.
working on a midterm. After this, I think he should be fine. We'll talk to him. So I think we're gonna shoot for Mondays now because Mondays are working better.
Bro, the
Yeah.
schedule.
So that's about it. We're getting back into it. We're working on it. We're here.
I mean,
We're
you know,
in.
we were all trying to get used to like starting college up again because we all have to do it remote and all that. So
Yeah.
Right. But I feel
Not having to
confident,
work
even though I
70
should.
hours a week is nice.
I feel confident we can
Yeah.
do this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that I like stream more
Yeah,
too. So
Michael, I know you
Perfect.
like you're gonna start
Perfect.
like trying to pick up streaming,
I
right?
actually was gonna
Twitch
do
dot
it. I was gonna do it today, but I
Same.
decided not to. I didn't
I'm
have
just
time.
gonna continue to speed run or yeah,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
gonna continue
run
the match.
Minecraft. What
Hell
was
yeah,
that?
Nathaniel. He said he's gonna. Nice.
Twitch.tv/hell64.
That
Go follow.
that's
Yep.
me.
And only at never mind.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Go
Nope.
go follow me on Twitch /vibingcooch.
Yeah, please go check out my
Um,
LinkedIn profile.
They don't even
I'm
know that all our names in the server
really
end with
proud of it.
Cooch. They
oh
don't know
yeah,
that.
Oh, right.
oh well, now they do.
Now they
Well,
do.
There was a joke a while ago, and it's
It-
just kind of
We don't
stuck.
have to explain it.
That
anyway,
was
We have
Alien.
our rights.
goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Have a
Bye.
good
See
one.
ya.